Your kidneys never take a day off. Right now, as you read this, or sit, or rest, or go about your morning, your kidneys are working, silently, continuously, without asking for recognition. Every minute, they filter roughly half a liter of blood, extracting waste products, balancing fluids, and maintaining the chemical environment that every other organ in your body depends on. And when they begin to struggle, they do it quietly. That's the thing about kidney stress. It doesn't announce itself with dramatic symptoms. It shows up as fatigue that sleep doesn't fix, as skin that looks dull and feels puffy, as a sense of heaviness that settles somewhere you can't quite name, as bathroom trips that are either too frequent or not frequent enough. The body is sending signals. Most people simply don't know how to read them. Here is what many people also don't know. Certain fruits, ordinary, affordable, available at any grocery store fruits, contain compounds that actively support your kidney's natural cleansing work. Not by overwhelming the system with some dramatic detox protocol, not through restriction or deprivation, but by giving the kidney's own biological machinery exactly the tools it needs to function at its best. And some of those same fruits protect against the very conditions, blood sugar instability, inflammation, vascular damage, that are silently placing the most strain on kidney tissue right now. I'm Dr. Naira Stein, a seniors health and wellness consultant. If you've been wondering whether what you eat every day is helping or quietly hurting the organs that filter everything you put into your body, this conversation is for you. Stay with me, because by the time we're finished, you'll have a clear, practical, science-grounded understanding of 5 fruits that genuinely support kidney cleansing, and a simple way to bring them into your daily life starting today. Let's begin with why the kidneys need this kind of support in the first place. Why the kidneys need nutritional support, and how food helps. To understand how fruits support kidney cleansing, we need to understand what actually stresses the kidneys, because the mechanism matters. The kidneys are not simple sieves. They are extraordinarily sophisticated organs, each containing roughly 1 million microscopic filtering units called nephrons. Each nephron consists of a tiny ball of capillaries, the glomerulus, surrounded by a collection system that draws filtered fluid through a series of tubules, selectively reabsorbing what the body needs and excreting what it doesn't. The precision of this process is almost incomprehensible. The kidneys can distinguish between individual molecules, retaining essential proteins while clearing creatinine, urea, excess minerals, and environmental toxins. What disrupts this system? 3 primary forces, and they are forces that dietary choices can meaningfully influence. The first is oxidative stress. The kidney's metabolic activity is enormous. Filtering blood continuously generates reactive oxygen species, the unstable molecules known as free radicals. When these accumulate faster than the body's antioxidant defenses can neutralize them, they begin attacking the delicate tissue of the nephrons themselves. Capillary walls stiffen, tubule cells become damaged, filtration efficiency declines. Over years, this oxidative burden is a primary driver of age-related kidney aging, and dietary antioxidants are one of the most direct ways to counteract it. The second force is chronic inflammation. Many of the conditions most common in adults over 60, elevated blood sugar, high blood pressure, metabolic syndrome, maintain a state of persistent low-grade inflammation throughout the body. In the kidneys, this inflammation causes progressive scarring of filtration tissue, a process called fibrosis. Once nephrons are scarred, they cannot be restored. Anti-inflammatory compounds in food represent one of the few dietary levers that can meaningfully slow this process. The third force is vascular health. The kidneys receive approximately 20% of the heart's total blood output, more proportionally than almost any other organ. They are entirely dependent on robust, flexible, responsive blood vessels to maintain adequate filtration pressure. When blood vessels stiffen, narrow, or become inflamed, the kidney's filtration capacity drops measurably. Foods that support vascular health are, by extension, foods that support kidney health. The 5 fruits we're going to discuss today each address one or more of these 3 forces. They are not miracle cures. They are not dramatic detox tools. They are genuinely evidence-backed nutritional allies. And when consumed consistently, they create the biological conditions in which the kidneys can do their job more efficiently, more completely, and with less cumulative damage over time. The 5 fruits that support kidney cleansing and toxin removal. Fruit number 1, strawberries, the heart-kidney cycle breaker. There is a relationship between the heart and the kidneys that most people never hear about, and it is one of the most important dynamics in the entire body. When the heart struggles to pump blood with adequate force and rhythm, the kidneys don't receive the steady, pressurized circulation they need to filter efficiently. Waste begins to accumulate, fluid balance shifts, and as the kidneys come under stress, they trigger hormonal responses, raising blood pressure, altering fluid retention, that then place additional burden back on the heart. It is a cycle, and once it begins, it tends to accelerate. Strawberries help interrupt that cycle, and the mechanism is specific. These deeply colored berries are rich in anthocyanins and ellagic acid, 2 classes of polyphenol compounds with well-documented anti-inflammatory and vasoprotective effects. Research published in major nutrition and cardiovascular journals has consistently linked diets high in berry consumption to improved blood vessel function, more flexible arterial walls, better endothelial response, lower levels of circulating inflammatory markers. For the kidneys, this translates directly into improved filtration capacity. When blood vessels are flexible and responsive, the glomerular capillaries maintain adequate pressure gradients. When pressure is maintained, toxins are cleared more efficiently. Strawberries also deliver a meaningful dose of vitamin C, a water-soluble antioxidant that neutralizes free radicals in the aqueous environments of kidney tissue before they can cause structural damage. And their fiber content plays a role that extends beyond digestion. Soluble fiber helps stabilize blood sugar, reducing the post-meal glucose spikes that, over time, damage the kidney's filtration surface through glycation. Practical guidance. 1 cup of fresh strawberries daily is a realistic, evidence-supported target. They can be eaten whole as a snack, sliced into salads, blended into smoothies with leafy greens and lemon, or stirred into plain yogurt. Frozen strawberries are nutritionally comparable and available year-round. Pairing them with black raspberries or blueberries amplifies the anti-inflammatory effect. Multiple anthocyanin compounds working in complementary ways on overlapping inflammatory pathways. Strawberries don't force the kidneys to detox. They build the vascular and metabolic conditions that allow the kidney's own filtration system to work at its natural best. Fruit number 2, Indian gooseberry, amla, the ancient kidney protector. Modern science is validating. This small, green, extraordinarily tart fruit has been used in traditional medicine across South Asia for thousands of years. Modern nutritional science has spent the past several decades attempting to understand why, and the findings are genuinely impressive. Indian gooseberry, known widely as amla, contains one of the highest natural concentrations of vitamin C found in any plant food. This matters for the kidneys in a direct way. The nephrons, those microscopic filtration units, operate under constant oxidative pressure. Their high metabolic activity and continuous exposure to waste compounds means that antioxidant support isn't optional for them. it's essential. The extraordinary antioxidant potency of amla provides a meaningful level of protection against the oxidative degradation of kidney tissue that accumulates over years of continuous filtration work. But the more significant and perhaps more surprising area of amla research concerns blood sugar regulation. Diabetes remains one of the leading causes of chronic kidney disease worldwide. When blood glucose stays persistently elevated, it damages the delicate capillary network of the glomeruli through a process called glycation, progressively reducing filtration capacity and, if left unaddressed, driving the kidney toward failure. Clinical studies have found that compounds in amla, including tannins, flavonoids, and pectin, appear to support more stable post-meal blood sugar responses and improved insulin sensitivity in some populations. By reducing glycemic volatility, amla addresses one of the kidney's most significant long-term threats at the source. Amla also demonstrates meaningful anti-inflammatory activity, inhibiting some of the same molecular pathways that drive chronic kidney inflammation, the slow, progressive scarring that diminishes functional nephron mass over time. Practical guidance: half a cup of fresh gooseberries daily if available, or 1 to 2 tablespoons of pure amla powder dissolved in water or blended into a morning smoothie. Indian grocery stores and international markets typically stock both fresh and powdered forms. High-quality pure amla powder is also widely available online. Avoid products with added sugar. The taste is intensely sour. It can be balanced with a small amount of honey or lemon in warm water. Consistency matters more than quantity. Daily use over weeks and months produces cumulative protective benefit that a single large serving cannot. Amla doesn't overwhelm the kidneys with a dramatic cleansing effect. It reduces the oxidative burden, dampens inflammation, and helps stabilize the blood sugar environment, creating conditions in which the kidneys can sustain their filtration work more efficiently and with less long-term structural cost. Fruit number 3, blueberries, the most studied kidney protective berry on Earth. If there is one fruit that nutritional science has studied more extensively in the context of oxidative stress, vascular aging, and kidney health, it is the blueberry. The volume of peer-reviewed research surrounding this small fruit is remarkable, and the findings point consistently in the same direction. Blueberries are among the most anthocyanin-dense foods available. Anthocyanins are the pigment compounds responsible for their deep blue color, and they are, at a biochemical level, sophisticated free radical scavengers. Every moment of every day, your kidneys generate reactive oxygen species as a byproduct of their enormous metabolic activity. Anthocyanins intercept these unstable molecules before they can attack the lipid membranes and proteins of kidney tubule cells. The protective effect is direct, measurable, and dose-dependent, meaning that regular, consistent consumption provides incrementally better protection than occasional intake. Beyond direct antioxidant activity, blueberries exert meaningful influence on the vascular system. Research published in respected cardiovascular and nephrology journals has linked regular blueberry consumption to improved endothelial function, better responsiveness and flexibility in blood vessel walls, and to measurable reductions in systolic blood pressure in adults with hypertension. For the kidneys, both of these effects matter profoundly. Glomerular filtration is a pressure-dependent process. When blood vessel walls are stiffer and blood pressure higher than optimal, the mechanical forces inside the kidney's capillary network are altered in ways that accelerate nephron damage over time. Anything that preserves vascular flexibility and helps normalize blood pressure is, quite directly, protecting kidney function. Blueberries also support healthy blood sugar regulation. Their low glycemic index, around 53, and fiber content moderate glucose absorption in ways that reduce post-meal spikes. And their anti-inflammatory polyphenols help dampen the chronic inflammatory state that underlies progressive kidney fibrosis. Practical guidance: half a cup to 1 full cup daily, consistently. The beauty of blueberries is their flexibility. They can be added to oatmeal, stirred into yogurt, blended into smoothies, eaten as a standalone snack, or combined with other berries for a synergistic antioxidant effect. Frozen blueberries, processed shortly after harvest, retain antioxidant content that is comparable to and sometimes exceeds that of fresh berries that have spent time in transit and cold storage. For maximum kidney support, pair blueberries with strawberries and black raspberries, 3 sources of anthocyanins with overlapping but distinct molecular structures, addressing oxidative stress from multiple biochemical angles simultaneously. Fruit number 4, cranberries, guardian of the urinary pathway. Understanding how cranberries support kidney health requires understanding a piece of anatomy that is easy to overlook: the pathway through which the kidneys remove what they've filtered. The kidneys don't work in isolation. They are the producers of the waste stream, but the urinary tract, the ureters, bladder, and urethra, is the delivery system. Toxins that the kidneys extract from the blood must travel through this entire pathway before leaving the body. And if that pathway becomes compromised, inflamed, irritated, or colonized by bacteria, the consequences travel upward. Urinary tract infections that are not promptly addressed can ascend to the kidneys themselves, causing pyelonephritis, a kidney infection that places enormous inflammatory stress on renal tissue and, in chronic or recurrent cases, contributes to lasting damage. Cranberries address this risk through a mechanism that is now well characterized in the scientific literature. They contain a group of polyphenol compounds called proanthocyanidins, specifically type A proanthocyanidins, that interfere with the adhesion mechanisms bacteria use to attach to the lining of the urinary tract. Bacteria, particularly E. coli, the organism responsible for the majority of urinary tract infections, rely on surface proteins called fimbriae to anchor themselves to urinary epithelial cells. Cranberry proanthocyanidins bind to and alter these adhesion structures, making it significantly more difficult for bacteria to establish and sustain colonies. Research published in major medical journals has confirmed that regular cranberry consumption is associated with a meaningfully lower incidence of recurrent urinary tract infections in susceptible populations. Less bacterial colonization means less urinary tract inflammation. Less inflammation means less upward pressure on kidney tissue. And less inflammatory burden on the kidneys means cleaner, more efficient filtration. More complete toxin removal with less structural cost to the organ performing the work. Cranberries also contribute direct antioxidant protection to kidney tissue through their broader polyphenol content, and their anti-inflammatory compounds support vascular health in ways that benefit the kidney's blood supply. Practical guidance: half a cup of fresh or frozen cranberries daily, or 4 to 8 ounces of 100% pure, unsweetened cranberry juice, diluted with water if the tartness is too intense. Unsweetened is non-negotiable here. Added sugar elevates blood glucose and creates metabolic stress that counteracts the very protection cranberries are providing. Fresh cranberries can be blended into smoothies with sweeter fruits, incorporated into simple, low-sugar sauces, or added to salads. Combine with blueberries or strawberries to layer antioxidant protection and address both oxidative and urinary pathway risks simultaneously. Fruit number 5, black raspberries, the darkest berry with the deepest protective power. Black raspberries are not something most people reach for at the grocery store. They are smaller, darker, and less familiar than their red counterparts. In most markets, they occupy a small corner of the produce section, or are absent entirely, available only frozen or through specialty retailers. This obscurity is, nutritionally speaking, a significant oversight. Black raspberries contain the highest anthocyanin concentration of virtually any berry commonly available. Higher than blueberries, higher than red raspberries, higher than blackberries. And anthocyanin concentration, as we've established, directly correlates with antioxidant and anti-inflammatory potency in kidney tissue. The depth of their color is a literal indicator of their protective strength. The darker the pigment, the more abundant the compounds that neutralize free radicals, reduce vascular inflammation, and protect the delicate capillary networks through which the kidneys do their filtering work. Research in cardiovascular and nutrition science has shown that the specific anthocyanin profile of black raspberries, a distinct combination of cyanidin, peonidin, and delphinidin glycosides, demonstrates particularly strong effects on endothelial function, the health and responsiveness of the cells lining blood vessel walls. This matters enormously for kidney physiology. The glomerular capillaries are among the most pressure-sensitive blood vessel structures in the human body. Their functional integrity depends on the health of the endothelial layer. When that layer is supported, glomerular filtration pressure is maintained. When it is compromised by oxidative stress and inflammation, filtration efficiency drops and nephron damage accelerates. Black raspberries also support healthy circulation in a more systemic way, improving the flexibility of larger arterial vessels, which determines how well oxygenated, nutrient-rich blood reaches the kidneys in the first place. Better circulation at every level of the vascular tree means better kidney perfusion. Better perfusion means more efficient toxin extraction. The logic is direct and the evidence behind it is solid. Practical guidance: ½ cup to 1 cup daily, fresh when in season, frozen year-round. Their flavor is intense and complex, deeply fruity with a slight tartness, and they pair exceptionally well with other berries, with plain yogurt, or blended into smoothies where their rich color transforms the entire preparation. Combining black raspberries with strawberries and blueberries creates what is, from a kidney health perspective, one of the most antioxidant-dense natural food combinations available at any price point. 3 distinct anthocyanin profiles, 3 overlapping but distinct anti-inflammatory mechanisms, working simultaneously on the oxidative and vascular challenges that stress the kidneys most. Understanding which fruits support kidney health is valuable. Knowing how to integrate them into the rhythm of daily life is what actually produces results. The most important principle here is consistency over intensity. Eating a large quantity of blueberries once a week is far less beneficial than eating a modest cup every day. The protective compounds in these fruits work through cumulative biological effects, gradually reducing the baseline level of oxidative stress and inflammation in kidney tissue, progressively improving vascular function, incrementally supporting blood sugar stability. These are not dramatic overnight changes. They are slow, steady shifts in the biological environment that over weeks and months produce meaningful outcomes. Build a simple berry baseline. The most practical way to incorporate all 5 fruits consistently is to treat them as a daily dietary layer rather than a special addition. A mixed berry blend, strawberries, blueberries, black raspberries, cranberries, can be kept in the freezer and deployed every morning into yogurt, oatmeal, or a smoothie. The combination doesn't need to be perfectly proportioned. What matters is that it happens reliably. Amla requires a slightly different approach given its availability and taste profile. For most people, dissolving a tablespoon of pure amla powder in warm water first thing in the morning, before breakfast, when absorption is unimpeded, is the most practical delivery method. Treating it as a morning ritual, the same way some people treat coffee or tea, builds the consistency that produces benefits. Pair fruit with protein whenever possible. Consuming fruits, even low glycemic ones, alongside a protein source meaningfully moderates blood sugar response. A cup of berries with Greek yogurt, a smoothie containing both fruit and a protein powder. Blueberries alongside eggs at breakfast. These combinations preserve the nutritional benefits of the fruit while reducing the glycemic variability that creates additional metabolic stress for the kidneys. Water is the non-negotiable foundation. Every kidney-supportive strategy, dietary or otherwise, operates more effectively when the body is adequately hydrated. The kidneys are a water-dependent filtration system. Without sufficient fluid volume, even excellent nutritional support cannot compensate for the concentration of waste products that occurs in a dehydrated state. 6 to 8 glasses of water daily is a reasonable baseline for most adults, adjusted for activity level and climate. The fruits discussed today all contribute some fluid content, but not nearly enough to replace deliberate water intake. A final word on individual variation. The guidance here is general and grounded in solid nutritional science, but kidneys do not exist in isolation. They operate within the context of each person's unique medical history, medication list, and current health status. If you are managing chronic kidney disease at any stage, if you are on dialysis, if you have been advised to restrict potassium or oxalate intake, or if you take blood thinners or other medications that interact with dietary compounds, please discuss these specific fruits with your nephrologist or a registered renal dietitian before making changes. The goal is always to work with your body's current reality, not against it. Your kidneys have been working for you your entire life. Every meal you've ever eaten, every glass of water, every medication, every environmental exposure. They have filtered all of it, quietly and continuously, without a single moment of rest. They don't ask for much, but what they do ask for, good circulation, low inflammation, stable blood sugar, adequate antioxidant protection, is something that what you eat every day either provides or withholds. The 5 fruits we've discussed today are not exotic or expensive or difficult to find. They are ordinary foods, available in any grocery store, in any season. What makes them extraordinary is the specific, well-researched way they address the precise biological challenges that accumulate in kidney tissue over time. Strawberries support the heart-kidney circulation cycle. Amla reduces oxidative and blood sugar stress. Blueberries protect filtration capacity at the vascular and cellular level. Cranberries defend the urinary pathway through which all that filtered waste must travel. And black raspberries provide the most concentrated anthocyanin protection of any commonly available berry. Together, eaten consistently, they do something no medication, no supplement, and no extreme detox protocol can do. They support the conditions under which your kidney's own extraordinary biological machinery functions at its natural best. That is what real nutritional support looks like. Not dramatic, not complicated, just the right compounds in the right foods consumed consistently over time. Take good care of yourself. Speak with your physician about your kidney health. Regular monitoring matters. And remember that every thoughtful, nourishing choice you make is a quiet act of loyalty to the organs that have never stopped being loyal to you. Until next time, stay well, stay curious, and keep investing in your health.